Hello everybody, it's Cynthia Gentle from ACSS, and as you know, it's Black History Month. We've got another exciting Black personality from Edinburgh today. I am joined by Peter Akyeampong. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
You're right.
Okay, Peter Akyeampong from Ghana. We're going to spend some time with him, getting to know him and about his life here in Scotland. So Peter Akyeampong, can you tell me when you came to Scotland, how, why?
I came to Scotland in 1971. I think it was towards the end of the Windrush system.
All right.
But I was sort of kind of recruited from Ghana because at that time they were, as usual, looking for people to work in the NHS. And I thought, oh, well, this sounds a good idea. So I'll take a trip and see what's like. And if I don't like it, I'll go back home. So that's what brought me here. We came on a nursing program. And we started. I came and straight away went to the Scottish Borders.
Okay.
The Borders Health Board. And from there, once I finished with what I was doing, I came to Edinburgh, then back to the Borders, and then back to Edinburgh, and then to Fife, and then to Lanarkshire.
Oh.
Yeah, and then back working in Edinburgh.
And then you settled in Edinburgh. What was it like from you? I mean, you came from Ghana and you landed here in Scotland. What was the major things that stuck out to you? What were your first impressions of Scotland?
Well, things were slower than what I was used to because I was born and brought up in a city. It was cold.
Yeah.
But because I was here for a purpose, so it wasn't a bother to me.
Okay.
I was young. It was about 19, 20 then.
Wow.
Yeah. But my parents thought it would be okay because I'd been in boarding school for 8 years before getting here.
Yeah.
So I had that sort of the groundwork done.
Yeah. Good.
But overall, it was enjoyable.
Yeah.
It's not the kind of trip that you make and you say, oh, I don't like it, I'm going home. You've got to stick it out.
Yes,
Because if you're working towards a future or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's the way I went about it.
Yeah. So were there a lot of people who came from Ghana? Or?
In a way, I was lucky because in the hospital that I was working, there were 3 Ghanaians that had come before me.
Yeah.
But strangely enough, when I got here, within a few months, one of them decided to go back home because he couldn't cope with the so-called prejudices, etc. I didn't find it an issue, because I go somewhere and I like to make friends, so these sort of things don't really bother me. But he went away home, which was rather sad, so there was 3 of us left.
Yeah.
The other 2 were older than me and they had come before me, so I think I was with them for about a year or so, a year or 2.
Yeah.
And they also finished, but they left.
And what was the African community like? Were there lots of Africans at the time? No, I didn't think so.
No, it wasn't like that.
No.
You were finding your way, making friends with people. It was strange. I wouldn't say it was difficult. It was strange because you were aware of the fact that you were an odd person.
Yeah.
Everywhere you went, public transport, you name it. I remember the first time, for example, that I'd met some friends here and they decided we should go swimming.
Okay.
And as we approached the swimming pool from the outside, the place was noisy. Till I entered the building and it was absolute silence.
Whoa.
And everybody's looking around and thinking, that's all right. What got changed, I got in the water and everybody got to the side. And I thought, oh, this is interesting. But within about 10-15 minutes, because I won one race across.
Okay.
Because I didn't realize I could swim a bit.
Oh, I'm relieved to hear you could swim, because I thought a bit. I thought you were going to tell me a story of you.
No, I didn't sink.
It's good to know you could swim a bit and you won a race. That's good.
With my friends, I just swam across, and I just, for some strange reason. So because I won the race, the kids then all gathered around me. And that was my swimming over.
Yeah.
We just chatted in the pool.
Well, everybody loves a champion. So, okay, one of the things, I first met you at a Ghanaian Independence Celebration many years ago.
Okay.
And I have been coming to these parties annually without fail, because they are the best African party scheduled on the calendar annually, right? So can you tell me a little bit more about what these gatherings are about, what you're trying to achieve, what it's like for you organizing such an amazing event?
It is a lot of work. But then, I suppose, thanks to you help out with kind of gathering the masses. So it's a case of independence celebration, which is done way back in Ghana and at home. Then we just thought it's an opportunity every year to remember that kind of sort of setup.
Yeah.
I don't put it on, or we don't put it on specifically for Ghanaians, because if we did,
you'd have 5 people.
That's right. I just consider it as a community event.
Yeah.
And I'm very pleased that I get people from all sorts of countries, communities, etc., who want to come. They come along, they have a good time.
Yeah.
And I think that's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
It's just to get together with people.
I think it's been very useful for the community, because a lot of connections have been made at these parties. People have made friends at these parties, either with somebody they started chatting to either in the queue for food or at the bar, or somebody they had a dance off with on the dance floor. I think it's been really, really good for the community. So I'm wondering as well, what it's been like for you being away from Ghana for so long. Like, how often do you go home? What's it like having your family there and you being here? How have you handled that?
Well, as I said to you, because I was in boarding school for 8 years,
Yeah.
I was only used to sort of going home for holidays for maybe 2 weeks, something like that. It was a bit kind of more British system.
Yeah.
Okay. So as far as I'm concerned, I can make my own company. I can get myself occupied without worrying about it. I don't particularly like holidays.
Huh?
No. I find holidays a false psychology. You go away from something and you come back to it and it's not improved, or the chances are it's gone worse, what you left behind.
Yeah, yeah.
So for me to have a holiday, it's got to be meaningful. Like I'm going to visit people I don't see very often. I don't like the roaming about aimlessly.
Okay.
Yeah. I like time off.
Yeah.
But holidays, I find it too much like hard work.
I can understand that.
The 1 or twice I've missed the plane because the scheduling has been bad. And I remember spending 3 days in Russia because I didn't realize my agents had not connected the flights very well.
My goodness.
Yes, I've had that in New York as well, another 3 days.
Yeah.
So I just seem to think, well, for what I get out of it,
yeah,
it's not an issue for me. I don't go home that often.
Yeah.
Not unless I have to.
Not unless you have to. I totally understand. Yeah. So I have seen pictures of you playing a guitar, and I would like you to tell us more about that, because I know you keep yourself very busy, Peter. I know you've retired now, and even before you retired, you were involved in a lot of things. Can you tell us a little bit about the gigging and the music? Tell us about that journey.
When I was in boarding school, I was fortunate enough because we had a music school in the boarding school. Because of that, every term we had what's called the pop chain, where different bands within the school will compete.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure whether it still goes on. I was sorry to leave that kind of setup, but when I got here and I found out Scotland is kind of very quiet, nothing happens. Come 5, 6 o'clock, the place was dark, nobody was going anywhere.
It's cold.
It was cold, but that didn't bother me. But that itself, I have an issue because I nearly died of frostbite 1 year.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, in my early months, because I bought a car from somebody, and the guy said to me, he's got half a tank of fuel, not realizing it was a faulty gauge. So I picked the car up at night in the middle of winter, and on my way home, it broke down. And of course, it was about 8:30 at night, and not a soul in sight in the Scottish borders.
My goodness.
By the time they discovered me 3 hours after, it's as if my system had shut down. Totally. It was the most awful experience.
And did you get your money back for this car?
No.
Gosh.
I didn't bother. I got it fixed and that kind of thing, but it was just, a bit of a curve for me.
Yeah.
So I decided, well, what should I do myself? The other two guys that were Ghanaians, they were a bit older, but apart from going to church, they didn't and studying, So I made friends in the town, and we used to get together and play music.
Yeah.
But they were more kind of sort of the rock type music. In fact, my very good friends, Jimmy White, he was a Bob Dylan fan.
Right.
So everything we had to play, it was such that he even named his son Dylan. But it was a good laugh, we got on very well.
Yeah.
And then from there on, I met another few people. And then I think in 73, around this time, the same month, I got Sam over.
Okay, yes.
So he came to join, and we formed the band. There were 6 of us. There was myself, Sam, a Scottish guy, another guy who was half Italian,
right,
and then another guy who was half Kenyan, half Arab.
All right.
Yeah, that was the first band we formed, just to get us around.
Yeah.
It was great. Every time it was advertised, people were coming.
Brilliant.
If we didn't come early, didn't get a seat. They just wanted to know.
Yeah.
It didn't matter if I could just play 3 chords. I was on stage. That's me, really. We managed a lot.
Yeah.
That's what sort of got me playing in the band. And we decided we wanted equipment because we didn't have any.
Yeah.
We went to this music shop in Melrose.
It
used to be called Clink Scale Music.
Right.
Yeah, very kind of sort of popular guy who had the shop. And then when we went in there, because we didn't have money, he said, well, we could have hire purchase. But he chose me for some reason as the person whose name had to go on the hire purchase, which was hard work.
Wow.
Because musicians, being musicians,
enough said.
of course, time went on and they left.
Yeah.
They kept leaving. Then I was still saddled with this bill to pay.
Yeah.
But I managed and we moved on, and it's just sort of taken from there.
Yeah.
I still play, but not that often.
Yeah.
It's COVID times, so nobody's playing music.
That's right.
I'm not really sure whether many bands will reform after this.
It's unfortunate, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm not really sure what will happen to mine, but I hope they're not burnt out
Yeah.
by the time this is over.
Yeah.
But I decided that, because of the way I was recruited into the country, the only people that could renew my visa were my NHS employers. So I couldn't leave.
Yeah.
Or if I did, then I was going to sort of find things my way.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, I'll stick with it and make the best of that kind of setup.
Yeah.
So I went from specialty to specialty to specialty. And in the end, well, at some point, I would say, they decided I should go to the academic side. And that's how I ended up being a lecturer.
Yeah.
And it's been very good. Tough, hard work.
And you were at Napier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I first started off with one of the colleges of nursing.
Yeah.
That's where I started off. But then we joined up with Napier.
Yeah.
And I just stayed till about a couple of years ago when I decided, oh well, education is not the way I see it. Yeah, because it's become more like a business, that kind of thing.
Things change, yeah.
Yeah, they do change. I'm fortunate now that I've got to the age that I could say that's all right.
Yeah,
I'm fine.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Awesome. Brilliant. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you, Peter. Thank you for sharing everything you've shared with me, your work life, your early days in Scotland. Very interesting. You know, I didn't know about the time you nearly died with this wonky car. It's really bad to buy cars that aren't checked, isn't it?
If I say to people, when you're leaving to go somewhere, make sure you've got all the essentials with you.
Yeah.
Because a car is a strange machine. It looks good sitting there, but you never really know what could go with it.
I mentioned this about the car because, you know, and I don't mind sharing this because I've bought a wonky car myself and you've been the person to rescue me.
Oh my goodness.
I know nothing about cars.
Ladies and gentlemen, you should have seen this car. I don't know why this lady was sold this car by a friend.
A mechanic?
A mechanic.
Yeah.
And there were no two things hanging together. And I thought, okay, I will take it to my friends who have got a garage to put it right. Oh, God.
Well, it has nice wheels.
Well, you were only interested in the wheels. The fact that the suspension and everything were just more or less gone was... You bought the car because you like the wheels.
I've learned my lesson.
It's still going.
It's still going. It's good.
They did a lot of
thanks
work.
to you.
Yeah,
it's done. It's sorted.
They did a lot of work on it. I must say. I was there. Gosh, I was going in scrap yards trying to look for bits that were obsolete. So
oh my goodness!
If you see Linda going about in this Mini, just you think about me.
You saved, yeah. It could have been, it could have turned out really bad for me, actually.
Yep, it was.
It was a death trap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were two different suspension arrangements on each side.
Yeah. So, thank goodness.
I'm glad you're still safe.
Yes, still safe. And, here to tell the story.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's been such a pleasure and a privilege spending time with you, and I'm just loving showing off all our black personalities, and you had to be in this program that we're doing. Is we're celebrating Black History Month, you know, so thank you so much for your contribution.
Nope.
Thank you for organizing these amazing community events for our community. We have all gotten to know each other so much better, and we always have a good time, and thank you for doing that for us.
Well, thanks for the invitation, and I hope the black community can hopefully stick together and, you know, help each other to the best of our ability.
Yeah.
And what else can I say? But without people like you who want to sort of put it together, I do other things. So I think I'm doing enough.
Yeah, you're doing a big part of it. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Great. Thanks very much for your time, and thanks to What's his name?
Jean Master.
Jean Master.
Yes.
Oh, from where?
Cameroon.
Oh,
He
Cameroon.
speaks French. Il parle français. Thank you so much, Peter.
Right. Cheers.
Thank you.